you are great at science fiction. But like an actual business plan, right? The plan is wonderful, but being a good entrepreneur, not a good entrepreneur, it's based on what happens after the plan.
That's right.
Because let me just tell you a story which you all resonate with, which is good for Vegas, which Mike Tyson was a boxer who most of you probably know. And he was the best, one of the best. And Mike Tyson was in his early 20s, and he was destroying people. People would get into the ring, and it would be like first round knockout, first round knockout, first round knockout. And then there was this guy named Michael Spinks. And Michael Spinks was also like 31-0. And they were talking about this is going to be the biggest fight, most exciting fight ever. Big, huge uproar, just like the Mayweather fight coming up. And then finally the fight happened. 91 seconds into the fight, Mike Tyson, uppercut, knocks him out, done. Then the media walks up, and they're like, Michael Spinks, what happened? You were supposed to be able to beat Mike Tyson. This was supposed to be the guy, like you were supposed to be able. He's like, I don't know. It's pretty tough. Like, Mike's really good. I don't know. And he's like, we thought you had a plan. Like, how come you weren't able to beat him? He's like, I don't know. Like, he was like, already like concussed, right? And they go to Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson is like, they're like, hey, how's everything going? He's like, yeah, I'm really excited. He's like, everybody was talking about, Michael Spinks had a plan. This was supposed to be the guy, 31-0. What happened? And he said, everybody's got a plan until I punch him in the face.
That was good.
So, it's so true. See, like, having Michael Spinks get ready is wonderful, and planning your 100% growth is wonderful. But like being an entrepreneur, we know it's actually what do you do in the things that don't go according to plan, because life and business doesn't go that way. And being a good entrepreneur is persevering through all that.
How do you work to, so, we talked earlier about, burn your boats if you want to take the island, right? You did that by not going back to the job, which I'm thrilled to hear. How do you build that resourcefulness in teams? Because when it's a small organization, you're the leader, make it happen. As it gets bigger, how do you create that in your culture where people stay resourceful? In other words, where it's about the outcome, not the damn activity, right? And the purpose, and they find one way doesn't work, they find another. How do you instill that in your organization culturally?
I think that's a great question. I don't know that I have the perfect silver bullet, but I think that it's important to have aligned incentives, and you can have incentives in many different ways. It could be your cash bonus. It could be the number of days you get home for vacation. But I think that if you hire people based on values that are aligned with the mission and vision of what you're trying to accomplish, and you can somehow create, and I say this in a positive way, if you can create religion in your company, then the people will want to persevere, not by doing a task, by getting to the solutions and the results that the religion requires. What I mean by that is, sometimes, and in some companies, people will say, well, what would Tony do? Or what would the CEO do? I don't think that's what you want. You don't want what would the CEO do, is what does our mission need, right? So if you can actually create it that way, you can decentralize and push down power. And it's not about having the bottlenecks of, hey, does the boss approve? You need to be able to inspire people through mission and hire for values. So our values are FACE, fearlessness, authenticity, collaboration, and empowerment. And I think that that's not exactly answering your question, but I think that to get to an answer for that requires a bigger construct than just like, hey, did you give them enough bonus?
Yeah, without a doubt. And we've talked about that. If you're going to hire people, it's answering three questions. It's, can they do the job? If you're interviewing for the third or fourth time, or they've been through the filter and they're they can. Will they do the job long term? This is a different question. Are their goals aligned with the job? Is their nature going to be reinforced by the nature of the job? And is the right team fit? Tell me, what about Kickstarter? Tell us about what's different about you than Kickstarter. What separates you? You were first. Tell us a little bit about how you deal with competition, because we deal with an Uber. When you got big players out there, you're a big player yourself. How do you deal with that? How do you differentiate?
I mean, any good idea will have competition. I love the entrepreneurs that say, oh, it's a good investment idea, you should invest. We don't have competitors, nor will we have it. I mean, that just says it's not going to have a big upside. But since we launched Indiegogo, we've had thousands of competitors. Some of them have been funded on our site, literally saying we're going to be like Indiegogo, but different. And 5 years ago, it might have been harder to see what the difference between us versus our competitors are. But I think we've done a really great job in the last few years. Actually, just one of the guests here even mentioned to me that, like, I really see you're becoming more like this, which is we're really becoming synonymous with the entrepreneur and not potentially a one-off creative hobby or a project. We're really trying to find the entrepreneur and help them where they are. So that's number one, whether it's the campaign, which most of you are aware of with an Indiegogo campaign, which after the campaign, they have validation. We now do in-demand. And some of you might not be aware, we have a newer product, which we actually have the marketplace, the shipping marketplace. People are actually shopping right now on Indiegogo and getting stuff tomorrow. And that's because we're trying to serve them across their life cycle. Not only that idea, maybe you're in manufacturing, maybe you're selling, and now we're offering equity investing, where people are actually raising capital and giving out equity or potentially rev share. So for us, we want to be synonymous with the entrepreneur. That's one of our differentiations, as well as we're building out a network of partners. For other platforms, it's kind of you're either getting the money or you're not. And for us, we're seeing that our customers are asking us to be more. They want us to be their partner across the process. So whether it's like manufacturing support, retail support, distribution support, from idea all the way to getting the products out there, we're building out a whole network of Fortune 500 partners that are helping with electronics, with AI, with cloud, with shipping, manufacturing, etc. So that's a second major differentiation. And the third, we have the best customer service and support in the industry, because since day one, I've always thought that being obsessed with the customer is really important, because
what does that look like? When people talk about, having extraordinary service, what does that look like in Indiegogo?
Yeah, I mean, it's got multiple layers. One, it's at the cultural level. We really think about the customer, how we go through our mock-ups, how we go through our designs. We have an entire research team that's working with the customers and finding out their feedback. Then in terms of the day-to-day support, you'll send in an email. We have our customer service team, which is top-notch in following up. Above that, we have our campaign strategist, which will actually help you with your campaigns. These are the sorts of things that sometimes people are going to agencies and paying a lot of money to get this advice. We provide this advice for free inside of our company. And then we have a third level, which is, if you're getting to those huge campaigns, they're doing multi-million or even hundreds of thousands, we have a whole nother tier. We're building out an entire creative studio to help you with your videos, to help you with actually doing your projects. So it's just a matter of like a tiered approach. Obviously, I can't tell you that every single person is going to get like thousands of hours worth of support. That's not scalable. That doesn't work. But we do make sure in a pyramid approach, which is like everybody gets a base level and it keeps on getting more and more based on kind of different results. And we really pride ourselves on that, as opposed to some other places, whether it's in our industry or others, you might not get a response for 4 days, and that's okay because it's an internet company. So why do you need to get email responses? Right? So we just have a point of view that we need to serve the customer. I think Amazon and Zappos really kind of spearheaded it, and we kind of follow their lead.
And what types of, for people here that are looking to raise money, what are the steps, but also what